Today, it is my goal to drastically change the way you're fighting in your relationships. We're going to punch conflict right in the face, but please, no, we're not going to be punching our partners. But what we are going to be doing is learning how to resolve conflict in a safe, healthy way. After being in a committed relationship for 7 years, 4 of which we've been happily married, I spent the vast majority of it being scared of conflicts. So in this video, I'm going to run you through a simple framework that you can use to start developing those skills of empathy, listening, or conflict resolution. In my experience, we all have the best intentions. We want to be loving and kind. We want to be the perfect partner. So the question is, what stops us? Even though we have the best intentions, something gets in the way. And that something is the way we process conflicts in our mind. For example, Kristen Bell shared how early in their relationship, Dax Shepard used to shut down every time she got emotional because he viewed emotions as something negative. He thought every disagreement meant something was wrong with their relationship. Over time, they learned that emotions are just signals, not threats. The point is that we need to take a look at our internal voices. Once we understand those internal voices, we have a much better chance of working through them. By the way, if you want to reignite your marriage even faster, I've created this free guide with tools to stop fighting in your relationship. You can grab it in the description. But can we ever expect not to fight at all? Is that really a fair expectation? In my opinion, yes, but depending on how you define a fight. For me, a fight is a space where you have completely lost control of your emotions. You've lost control of yourself. You have reached heightened emotional states and are taking it out on each other now. That need not happen. But if you expect to never have disagreements, that would be impossible. Disagreements are important. After all, the value of a partner is that they bring an alternative perspective to things. So disagreements are necessary. But why do they turn into fights? It's because they never start off as fights. They start off as little irritations, little annoyances. Maybe it's a forgotten text, a bad tone, or just one of those bad days. But before you knew it, you were arguing about things that weren't even part of the original issue. Because the problem wasn't that bad tone. It wasn't that forgotten text. It was all the unresolved emotions underneath. And if we don't learn how to process them, they pile up until one day it feels like there's no way back. Think of it like this. Every fight is like a stack of bricks. Each brick is a past unresolved issue. Prince Harry spoke about how tensions with the royal family escalated because small issues were never truly resolved. Unspoken resentments built up over time, and when they had larger conflicts, they were magnified by years of all this unresolved tension. This is the exact same thing that happens in relationships. When we don't address the small things, they just keep stacking up until suddenly we're carrying so much weight that even the tiniest argument can make it all come crashing down. So the first step is simple. Acknowledge their pain. And here's the golden rule. Apologize for hurting them. Even if it wasn't intentional. Even if you don't fully get it yet. And I know it's hard. Sometimes we don't understand why they're hurt, especially if you haven't even had a chance to speak about it. But it doesn't matter. Relationships aren't about being right. They're about making each other feel loved. Once you've acknowledged their pain, you've laid the groundwork for a real conversation. Now, instead of defensiveness, you can move towards understanding without blame. You can start by asking questions like, what triggered you? What did I do that made you feel this way? How would you have wanted me to respond to this situation? The focus should be to fully understand each other's point of view. And here's the key. If at any point you feel triggered, just walk away. Don't continue the conversation from a place of frustration. The important part is to hold each other as you open up. Reassure each other. This is a vulnerable space, and vulnerability is always difficult. Simple words like, it's okay, I've got you, we will figure this out, they go a long way. Once you feel like you've had enough space to understand what happened, you can transition towards finding a solution you can implement. If there are many unresolved issues, pick one important one and solve that. If you don't find an immediate solution, that's okay. Some conflicts take time. But what matters is that you reassure each other. Just let them know that we're in this together. And if you're really stuck, you can always seek outside guidance. Your problems aren't unique. And that means solutions exist. As a last resort, if you feel stuck, you can implement a temporary solution and keep refining it. Because the truth is, relationships aren't about finding one perfect answer. They're about showing up for each other over and over again. And that's why this process isn't a one-time thing. It's something you repeat every time a conflict arises. The biggest mistake people make in relationships isn't fighting, it's not knowing how to repair and reconnect. When we learn how to handle conflict the right way, fights will not push us apart. They actually bring us closer. They help us grow. So try this process. Change your perspective. Repair first and then reconnect with curiosity. If you want to avoid divorce and reignite your marriage even faster, click the link below to access the free guide I mentioned earlier. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.